from there. He has a tax expert with him and probably going to throw some light on some of the tax proposals in the budget. Over to you, Shishir.
Well, absolutely, Mark. We have seen the budget here. But of course, what we're expecting from the budget, what the common man's going to get, or what his pocket is going to get feel here, that's the main question here. Right now, we have with us Samir Somaiya. Samir sir is the Vice President of the Indian Merchant Chamber. And a couple of topics is quite close to his heart. One is, of course, the education. The second is green energy that we're talking about, the green budget we're talking about. But my first question to you and first comment of yours on how do you see this overall budget which you see today?
I think it's a very good budget. It's a comprehensive budget, inclusive, and it helps the sustainable development of the country. So I would give very good marks to this budget. I also think that the budget puts emphasis on increased capex, and it also goes to simplification. I think we should never underestimate the power of simplifying tax structures. It helps the overall benefit of the economy.
6 different structures, how it's going to pave the way, especially for the development of common, because the common man was asking for money for the investment. Here you have given them probably money in his hand, and also you have opened up the new avenues for the investment purpose.
I think they have simplified and they have reduced the tax burden on the common man. So in both ways, it is simpler and it is better.
Absolutely. There was a question actually earlier that how the budget is going to give us. First of all, the more kind of impetus given for the growth. But on the other hand, the fiscal deficit was a challenge here. It seems that the government has given more thrust on the growth by leveraging or increasing also the capex plan that we just heard in the budget.
Well, if you heard her speech, she's talking about progressively also reducing the fiscal deficit. She's talked about at 6.4% and progressively going to below 4.5%. So it's growth combined with fiscal discipline is the way I look at it.
My question to you, of course, is about the education now. When it comes to education sector, it seems that a digital library announcement we just heard. We also heard about the Eklavya school that's going to start here. Major thrust is probably government is giving on the education and especially on the youth.
I think we have to look at this in two twin aspects. One is inclusive and the other is the march towards a knowledge economy. For any country to march into the future, it has to take all segments of society together. So here when the finance minister has talked about last mile, she has talked about also how to build Eklavya residential schools. So to go to the tribal areas and provide equal opportunity of education for them. When we look at the libraries, when we look at the reading program, whether it is digital or whether it is a national book trust giving books, I think the thrust is to create a reading culture and fundamentally a knowledge culture across the country in libraries in areas which are rural as well as urban. So I think these are very good.
I just want to get into details here because you also been part of this sector. You also opened up a library in remote places. How this budget announcement will give impetus for this cause?
I think if the movement is moving towards this, we would definitely like to collaborate with the government as well as the National Book Trust is concerned, or also the digital libraries, so that we augment the resources in the libraries that we have set up, so that the people in these villages can access the digital content of our past as well as of our future.
My next question is about, of course, when we're listening to this budget, and most of the experts are saying that this is probably a green budget, because we have seen here that various policy announcement, various budget announcements have given thrust on the green economy here. How do you look at it?
Well, I like to think of it as a comprehensive budget, as I said, and comprehensive, inclusive and sustainable. So the green aspect comes into the sustainable part. If you look at sustainability, it is driven in the transition to a greener economy. And green meaning renewable. India is rich in the sun, it is rich in soil, and it is rich in farming and farmer resources. So what the government is trying to do is to push emphasis on, transition to the green economy. They already showed how you can move to a biofuel and bioethanol space. Today the country is at 10% blending. They advanced the blending to 20% by 2025. And if you look at it, it was a mandate and the goal that started the transition of ethanol blending. Similarly, the government is pushing a compressed biogas mandate, and they said that a 5% mandate will come. So again, the enormous resources of bioresources that we have, we will start producing bio-compressed gas. That will be a great thing. Green hydrogen, the government has allocated funds, and so you're seeing a huge focus. And if you look at the current realities, which are geopolitics, energy security, and mitigation of climate change, and making sure our farmers have good income security, you get a triple benefit when you do all these things. And if you look at agriculture, if I talk about agriculture, agriculture is a key aspect of a country that is trying to push its green economy and to grow its renewable resources. In agriculture, the government has talked about two sides, and I see this across. So the two sides being, how to bring our traditions and how to bring the future. So you're talking about creating a digital agriculture infrastructure. This is coming on the heels of a UPI, a Aadhaar or an ONDC. You're seeing digital agriculture infrastructure. You're seeing precision farming, which they want to work with how 5G and engineering colleges will work together. At the same time, we're looking at the Pranam Yojana of the Prime Minister. The Pranam Yojana looks at how to regenerate agriculture. There are tremendously good traditional practices such as the use of Panchagavya or Jivamrut across the country. So when you start creating a balance with the use of traditional practices, precision farming, modern techniques, and a balanced use of fertilizers, then you create a much more sustainable economy to go forward. So
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, not just about the corporate sector we're talking about, but overall economy. When we say that, agriculture plays an important role here, and today's budget, if you look at the important aspect of it, have given quite a good impetus on all this aspect. Yes, Mark.
Right there, Shishir. Thanks very much for getting us that conversation.